G'day viewers, welcome once more to Wangafat Wednesday, which is an acronym which means I'm going to tell you who am I not giving a fuck about today. And Australia's been in such a spiral of weirdness in the last week or two. It's rich pickings. It was hard for me to choose who and what exactly to go for, but there's been this spiral of events that have spun out. Honestly, I reckon it started to really hit a low point. Something I have mentioned before, radio shock jock Alan Jones saying the Prime Minister's father died of shame. And it went down and down. And there's weird shit happening in the federal parliament, which I won't explain in detail here. But I think I might do another video and talk about stuff that I'm genuinely angry about. But it's got to do with the Speaker of the House, who was part of the Conservative Party, but they were going to dump him. He left their party and went to be the Speaker as revenge, which helped the minority government, which made the Conservative coalition really, really angry, and they've been hammering non-stop, and it all came to a head with the Prime Minister making a fucking awesome 15-minute speech, ripping a hole right through the opposition leader, and eventually the Speaker resigned. That was all very complicated, and there's a lot going on there. That's not what I'm talking about here. But I was going through that whole Alan Jones opposition Prime Minister Speaker. Oh, idiots in media. What am I least giving a fuck about? Who am I really not giving a fuck about? And thankfully, my friend Dave sent me a link that just blew my mind. I think I found the low point. It was a challenge, but of this whole fucking circus who I least give a fuck about. As a group who calls themselves a grassroots community organisation. In other words, yes, astroturfing for another vested interest. Pushing all this conservative shit. And they call themselves Can Do. And after reading a little bit of their website, I was thinking of a few things they can do to themselves. You know, it would be unfortunate for me to bring small defenseless animals and buckets of lube into it, but that's where my brain went. I freely admit it. But what these guys have gone about, they are now declaring that a particular TV show must be taken off air. Why is this, you ask? Okay, the show, which I don't watch, is called Can of Worms. In it, the host poses curly questions to a panel and audience like, oh, would you rather this or this? Oh, is this a good thing or is that a good thing? That type of thing, you know, not a completely original concept. Like I said, I haven't watched it, but what apparently they did this week in a wacky joke said, oh, for $1 million, what would you do? Run naked through Times Square singing Gangnam Style, eat a plate of cockroaches, or root Alan Jones. And humorous panel member leapt straight to, oh, I don't even have to think, I'd root Alan Jones. Guy's so uptight, no one in the country needs a root more than him. Maybe he'd mellow out after that. So, I don't watch the show, okay? So, this conservative group has gone and said, take it off air, that was offensive. A fairly obvious retaliation for the backlash against Alan Jones, where he's lost all of his advertising and sponsorship. It's payback. And this type of tit-for-tat payback, you know, eye for an eye, everyone ends up blind. It's a fairly obvious chain of events. But these fuckheads aren't even subtle, because Alan Jones is actually one of the main patrons of the group. It's like, oh, we're totally independent, but we want to go off and score cheap points against a hugely wealthy major media figure who is one of our major patrons. It's like, oh, fuck off! Honestly, Jesus, does anyone fall for this shit? Does anyone go, oh, yeah, oh, community, grassroots, this is totally spontaneous. It's not a representation of vested interests who are, oh, fuck off! Honestly? Really? I mean, this is just stupid from beginning to end. And they're honestly going, oh, this was just appalling. This was like, you know, a comedy-ish show that, you know, has an M rating, says they might say offensive things. And so, obviously, these fuckwits are trying to say, whoa, you're all up on Alan Jones's case? Well, how is this different? Because it's fucking different, you idiots! Like I said, it's not someone purporting to be objective commentary, who then just says the most vile, disgusting thing imaginable to the Prime Minister. No, it's a stupid, wacky, light-hearted show doing stupid, wacky, light-hearted things. Ooh, we said rude things. Oh, seriously. If this is the benchmark, if you say, oh, that show that pre-announces what it's like is so offensive as to go, if that's the benchmark, and if everything more offensive than this show would have to go as well, which would take a metric fuck ton of shows off TV. And I'm starting to lean towards the whole can-do thing at this stage. God, there's a lot of crap on TV. But really, honestly, if you can't even be honest, and these people are not honest, these people are implicitly and explicitly lying about their motivations, if you can't even be honest, I really don't give a fuck. And like I said, I will go back to the whole wacky stuff that's happening in the federal parliament here in Australia. And short version, it's a bunch of political point scoring where no one's being honest. Both the government, the summary of the government's position is, we will do anything to stay in power. And the summary of the opposition's position is, we will do anything to knock them off and take power. And it would play out exactly the same if positions were reversed. The Libs would support the most evil person on the planet if they thought it would hold power, and Labor would flog every political dead horse imaginable to destabilise them. It's how politics work, and while that's tiresome and repetitive, the bit that really gets to me is they just can't be fucking honest. They have to lie and say, I'm offended. Oh, that's terrible. You're not fucking offended. You're just playing politics. And when you just play politics, if you can't even be honest, I just don't give a fuck about you.